Hurricanes and Halloween time are both coming to Disneyland. We're going to have a good discussion about that. We've got a lot of changes coming to Epcot to talk about, and we're going to have a huge discussion about things that we think need to be updated at Disney Parks and Resorts, all tonight on Parks Center. Welcome to Park Center for August 20th, 2023. I'm your host, Rob Whiteside. Thank you guys so much for being with us. We really appreciate it. If you havenent already, please subscribe to WDWNT TV for more great content. And also, please give this video a thumbs up as it helps people to find us. And we hope that you tell your friends, neighbors, kids, dogs, everybody about Park Center because we really enjoy being with you every Sunday night, including, I love hanging out with these people. It's Stephanie. How are you?
Hi, everybody. Doing well. How are you, Rob?
I'm hanging in there. Speaking of hanging in there, Allie, how are you?
Great out here in hurricanes and earthquakes.
What a trooper. And, of course, the one, the only, the spectacular Mr. Patrick Hackett.
There's nothing here. It's Connecticut. We got good pizza. That's it.
I mean, you keep saying that, but I guess we'll believe you.
I will. We don't have time. This is a time-limited show.
Yeah, no, you're right. We'll talk about it later. I still want somebody to revisit my idea of having a pizza booth at the Food and Wine, just all kinds. And I doubt they would throw Connecticut in there, but maybe. Let's talk about. It's okay. Let's talk about the hurricane because there is actually a hurricane out in California, and Allie was nice enough to say, you know what? I'm not worried about it. Let me go ahead and get on Park Center and talk to you guys about sippers because that's really what matters in life here is that you do that. Allie, I hope that you're safe out there in Cali. So tell me what's going on. You're the only person I've ever met that is disappointed that it's not a little bit worse than it is. I don't understand you.
Okay, you're making me sound bad. It's not that I'm happy there's not destruction and all of those things, but we were a little bit more excited for maybe just some rain and some thunderstorms. Like where I'm at, I'm a little bit south of LAX, kind of by the beach, so I think everything went east of us, so it's just kind of been raining all day, but yeah, they had us, prepared for this huge storm that was, I think it's been a little bit worse to the east and south, but thankfully nothing bad has happened. Disneyland was fine today. They canceled the live entertainment, obviously for the safety of the performers, not being out in the rain, so that was good. I'm not sure what good closing the park an hour early does, but that's what they did, so that's where we're at. So.
Well, they were probably like, hey, we got to do something that doesn't cost us a lot of money. Yeah. What if we closed, I don't know, an hour sound good? I mean, our headline said that Disneyland and Universal Hollywood are closing early, but yeah, it was 1 hour earlier than each park was supposed to close, and then, you're only going to be able... What was it?
I said Disneyland was a couple hours earlier. DCA was an hour earlier.
Right, because Disneyland would have been open until midnight, only open until 10. Yeah. And then I think Downtown Disney was supposed to be 1 a.m., but it's now 12?
11, I think, yeah.
11. Oh, unheard of. But anyway, I'm in all seriousness, I'm glad you're safe out there. If for any reason that you feel like there's a problem, please, dip and go for cover if you feel like you have to. I mean, it sounds like it's luckily not going to be the devastation that we were afraid of, and that it's a tropical storm, and I think you're on high ground. So, and then, again, Disneyland, they're not used to this kind of thing, right? I mean, until they actually closed, for, I don't know, 13 months once. I don't know if you guys remember that or not. It's a thing. Yeah. Other than that, they really don't close for much. So I guess they just adjusted their times and moved on. So I'm glad everybody's safe and precautions were taken.
Their castle can't even lower like ours.
Yeah, it lowers. Yeah, it lowers right into the ground in Florida. So especially because it's above
small. Who would even notice?
It's fine. I do want to acknowledge that we already have a super chat here from Oma Loves Disney has given us a super chat, and we appreciate it. Because trams, great lead-in. Great lead in. So thank you almost so much for the super chat. We appreciate it. Anytime y'all want a super chat, please feel free. We are here for it. So let's talk about trams. They're the things. I don't know if you guys remember. They're the things that get you from your car to the front gate. It was a thing back before COVID that they were able to have trams, and not all of the parks have had trams. But we had breaking news today that the trams are returning to Hollywood Studios and to Epcot. This is exciting. I'm gonna go to Stephanie on this one first because Stephanie, you were just there, and you have like I think 19 kids. It must be a slog to get all those guys through the parking lot. So I'm sure you're happy to have a tram to put everybody on.
Let me tell you, Rob, I am so happy that this is coming back. I was there last week, and heat advisory level in Florida, like it has to be pretty bad for that to happen, right? And of course, it was like 105 every day with 110 feel. So yeah, walking to and from, you're done. You're melted by the time you get to the front gate. You don't even want to go in the park. So I'm really happy that these trams are back. It's a long time coming, and yeah, they should have done it years ago.
I got to say, one of my favorite things about staying at Pop Century is taking the Skyliner and having it dump me off right by the gates because it's such
That's so
a
nice.
problem for you to have to get, like, if you go, I don't know if you guys have ever been in this situation. If you're parking in like Epcot or Hollywood Studios, for instance, and you're driving down the line and you're just praying that you're not going to be sent to the very end, and you're kind of counting the cars out to see how many more are in front of you, and you get up to the front,
Yes.
and when that cast member goes like this way, and you're like, I missed it, and now I have
Then
to
you
walk
just
all
show
the
them
way.
your premium parking pass, right? Oh, here's my.
I don't. What? I don't. That sounds like that costs money, Patrick. Are you excited about
Yeah.
the trams coming back, buddy?
Yeah, but I mean now I do premium parking, and so I don't walk like that anymore.
Wow.
Because I did it once at Hollywood Studios while the Skyliner was under construction. I was like, no, never again. That's the worst walk. I have no idea why it took this long to come back. But hey, as long as the stock price keeps going down and attendance at the parks is down, we're going to keep getting things back. So, please don't go.
Yes.
Everybody stay away.
Parking diva, perfect.
Yeah, all right. It's fine.
You've
I
been
love
upgraded.
it.
You've been upgraded.
Nice. It's great.
Yeah, and Allie, you were just at Disney World, right? Because at Disneyland, they've had the trams for a while, although I know from hanging out with your significant other, y'all prefer to walk because he made me
We
walk
do.
last time and not take the tram. So, I mean, are you happy to see trams come back in Florida where it's like a little humid?
Oh my God, it was so hot. I agree with Stephanie. It was, I think, yeah, I don't understand why they didn't come back sooner, especially at Epcot and Hollywood Studios, because those seem to be the most two problematic parking lots. Like, just get people into the park as quickly as possible. And yeah, my significant other and I talk about this all the time. The more time I am not in the park, I am not spending money. If you get me into the park quickly and you make it a very positive experience, I'm gonna walk in happy. I'm gonna buy things from me. And it doesn't cost a lot to run these trams. Pay people to run the trams, get people out of the parking lot back to their cars. Like, just help people.
Yeah. One of the
Yeah.
things we're going to talk about at the end is we're going to talk about how like things that need to be updated. And that was definitely something as transportation in general, because, nobody factors in that time. Usually you're like, hey, we're going to the Magic Kingdom today. I'm going to be in there at 10. Well, you better leave at like 8, because if you're going to get there at 10, you've got to drive to the Magic Kingdom, get through the toll booth, then get into the parking lot, then walk to the tram, then get the tram to TTC, then get frisked, and then get through, and then decide if you are going to do better with the resort monorail, the express monorail, or the ferry. And then once you get over to the other side and then get through, then you've got to get through the ticket booth. So again,
Yep.
that's a problem. That's too much of a travel situation. So we'll definitely talk about that kind of stuff later. I did want to talk about, because we've been talking a lot about how Disney World is ready for Halloween and has the Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party going on. We have a full guide to the Halloween party on our website now for Mickey's Not So Scary, and I know that that Allie, you were on last week and talking about it, and I know Stephanie, you were there last week for the party. But now things have started to pop up at Disneyland. And, I've talked about Oogie Boogie being one of my favorites, but Halloween time in general, Halloween time in general at Disneyland is, to me, kind of amazing. But there's a lot of cool stuff that they're doing, including this Goofy's Kitchen is doing this Halloween brunch and dinner. I've never done that before, but looking at some of the foods that they like, this looks incredible. I don't know, like, again, Goofy's Kitchen is, if anybody hasn't been out there, is basically Chef Mickey's, but Goofy's in charge. And so I don't know if, Allie, have you been to this one before?
I've actually never been to Goofy's Kitchen. Nope.
What?
No.
I don't.
I don't have kids. Why would I go? If you want to take
Because
me
Goofy?
I will go with you.
Hello? Yeah, Stephanie, talk some sense into her. Tell her why she should go.
I've been. It is very similar to the Chef Mickey's at Disney World, but I will say it ranks kind of mid-range. So if you're staying, or if you can go over to the Grand Californian, I do prefer the one over at Storytellers Cafe, that breakfast. I like that they have this like Halloween theming, so that's kind of different and that's neat. I would probably go and do that because of the theming. But as far as the food quality goes, I actually like the Storytellers a little better. And then down below is like, well, now it's the Pixar Hotel, but the one that used to be the Paradise Pier Hotel, that one's not my okay.
Rob is just spiteful on Chiron today.
Well, I agree with you. Storytellers is great. It's great. But I mean, Goofy's Kitchen is kind of fun. The first time I ever went, it was all these very rare characters, and it was so weird because there's a cohesiveness at Disney, and we talked about this with character dining. There's a cohesiveness, like almost a plan when you go to the ones in Disney World. You go to, the Crystal Palace, it's going to be all of the Pooh characters. But in this one, it was like, I go to Goofy's Kitchen and here's Baloo and Aladdin and Claire. Like, it was just the most random assortment,
Yes.
and I was there for it. It was awesome. But I think it's a fun place to go. Anyway, Patrick, I got a question for you, though, about something a little bit different about Halloween. Is they have all these amazing Halloween treats. I don't know if you went and looked through
You do this
all
stuff
of
to
them.
make me angry.
I do? Why do I make you angry?
Yes.
Mr. McGee,
Because
don't make me
Disney-
angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
Disneyland does it much better than Walt Disney World for
but
every single holiday, and it's upsetting.
Agreed.
It's
But
upsetting.
here's the question that I have for you is, I don't know anybody other than maybe Allie or Tommy C who's going to go at Disney World and go to Disneyland for Halloween.
You?
So, look,
Fair.
not always, but I wanted to say, though, like, do you think that the treats need to be different on both coasts?
No, I don't think so. I don't think they need to be different on both coasts because I don't think people are really going to both coasts. I think that there might be some people who are big Halloween fans who may be deciding on one or the other, who don't have annual pass and like, well, we can go to Disneyland or we can go to Disney World. And if I saw the offerings between the two parks, especially with us, you would have to give it in favor to Disneyland. And the treats always look better there. Always. It's not just some cockamamie cupcake. It's something that has some thought put into it. And it's just, man, it makes me so mad at it.
Yeah, I was looking at like some of these things, like, yeah, it looks, they do look amazing. And they are mostly sweet instead of savory. So, bring your insulin. But when you look at all of these things and you're like really excited about them, I just don't understand why they wouldn't have them on different coasts. Like, or why they wouldn't have the same thing on both coasts, because they do look so good and they probably put a ton of effort into them, right? I don't know. But anyway,
Because they don't have to.
Okay, that's
so
fair.
upsetting because it's so true.
They don't have to. Everybody's going to
Here-
go to Disney World no matter what. Like, you got to get the locals into Disneyland. So, here's some new food. Here's some new treats. Hey, locals, come.
Yeah.
They don't have to do
Here's
that.
the
in Disney
same
World.
6 foods at the Italy booth that have been here for the past 12
Ugh.
years. Just come and eat that. Oh, here's a Halloween cookie that's vaguely green. Enjoy.
Yeah. All right. So let's talk about something else at Halloween, and this one's going to you, Allie, because Halloween, the decorations in Cars Land. Cars Land is by far my ultimate favorite land of all the lands, and the fact that they make it over for Halloween and they make it over again for Christmas is one of the best, coolest things ever, I think. And because you live it every year, what are your thoughts?
I love Cars Land. I love Cars Land when it's decorated. Yeah, those pictures were from Friday. We came in the back way. I saw the tires and I was like, ooh, I bet there's more decorations. So I just kind of started browsing all the stores and you just slowly find different details and you're like, oh, they put the witch up and oh, yeah, they put the creepy car out. And then the Mater sign and the Mater Jamboree was up. And yeah, and the little ghosts in the graveyard. Oh, it's so cute. Yeah, they do a really, really good job. So I can't wait till it's done. And I can't wait to go at night when they have the lights up. And it's magical. It's so good.
Yeah. I agree. I love seeing Cars Land, at any time. I really do. But seeing it during the holidays and then like the Halloween thing is so amazingly cool. What about and I don't know, Stephanie, that merch is actually your thing, but the merch, I'm sure you've looked at the stuff that they have that they previewed for the stuff coming to Disneyland. Anything that you saw, you're like, oh yeah, I wish I could fly out there and grab some of that stuff.
I mean, I love the little anything Mickey pumpkin. Kind of, I guess I could say I collect it. I don't know. I love those. We had those at Disney World too, though. Those little candy corn holders. But
Oh,
yeah,
that's so
nothing
cute.
really stuck out. Isn't that cute? I love those. And they make
Yeah.
cute little gifts to give to teachers. Rob laughed at me last time I said I brought teacher gifts home from Disney World.
Because there were candy
It's-
apples and you have
it's
little
true.
kids.
I
And
know.
again, if when my kids were little, if it was like, hey, we're going to get these candy apples, you can't have them. We're going to take them all the
Yes.
way back home with us and give them to teachers. It was that. I mean, teachers are great. I have no problem with teachers. I some of my favorite people are teachers. But when it comes to
Yeah,
that,
you're digging
it's
a
just,
real big hole for your butt, buddy.
I know, right? I just because I married one is what I'm basically saying.
Yes.
But the gift thing like is great. I love that
Equals-
idea. But my
Or
thing
fair
was
pay. That's what Rob
what
says.
you chose. Yeah, exactly. Please pay them more. What you chose though to bring the candy apples is really more what I was kind of knocking at, not that you were bringing home.
And
teacher
I
gifts.
know,
I think that's
and
great.
I know, and I still brought home a candy apple that was a Mickey pumpkin. Boom.
Yeah,
Awesome.
there you go. David's in chat saying get her done. Yeah, you can't. Cars is great. I love Cars. Let's talk a little bit. There were some other things that happened with Halloween, but I'm excited about Halloween coming to Disneyland in general. But adjacent to that is one of my favorite topics. It's the plastics. It's the sippers and the popcorn buckets. And boy, howdy, they are hurting me this year. First
Man, they're
look at
good.
a new Mickey Mouse skeleton bucket coming to
So
Disneyland.
cute.
This is the new Magic Key sipper. That's kind of cool. But this one, whew, that
Yes.
one, that's the one. Light up
Yep.
Hocus Pocus Mini as Winnie Sipper coming to Disneyland next month. I immediately hit my supplier immediately and said, "Can you please hook me up with this one?" But the funny thing is, when I was talking to Allie about it, I said, "You remember these? Remember the three hitchhiking ghost ones, and this one was a
Yeah.
popcorn bucket. No, this one's a sipper. Sorry, this one's a sipper. This one's a popcorn bucket. Right. How much popcorn you putting in there? Not much. And then there was a third one with that was a donut holder in Florida, and it was a beignet holder in California. So I was like, oh, okay. You could do that again with the Sanderson sisters. This is before they announced the Mickey skeleton bucket. So I was like really hoping that there would be a Sanderson sisters, sipper and beignet holder and whatever, so we could get all three. But I guess, Allie, this is probably just this, and the Mickey skeleton might, I assume, be the Halloween costumes for them this year, and that's why they're doing that.
Yeah, usually it kind of matches the Halloween costumes. We might get something special for Oogie Boogie. Usually there's some kind of special release that's only for the party. Disney World got that, knocked the can over. Got the mayor bucket, and then that we're just gonna get it for like everybody. You don't have to be at the party, so hauled that all the way home. But I think the mini sipper is fantastic. They finally understand the assignment of what everybody wants. We want Hocus Pocus, we want characters, and we want it all. So maybe they'll do like one each year, would be my thought. Because they do that with the poison apple cup things. They just change it a little bit every year. So they'll figure it out. They'll have all three of them on point.
I passed on the platinum apple this year, and I don't actually have the apple. I know, it's crazy. I've had multiple opportunities. I know, Patrick, it's hard to believe that I would pass on anything. Speaking on things that you don't have to get for me, I'm gonna go ahead and pass on this one.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with this one. It is very functional. I love that the straw's at the bottom. Like, that's a great idea. Like, do more of that kind of stuff. That's kind of cool. But I'm gonna be okay on that one, and enjoying other people enjoying that one. So there are a lot of plastic things out there, and I still think that Sanderson sister sipper, and of course the mayor popcorn bucket from Mickey's Not So Scary, and now coming out to California. Those are two of the best ones that I've seen.
Immediately with that one, because the great thing about it is you can use it for its desired function without ever dirtying it up, because you just put the box in the back of the car. I thought that was great.
Yeah, the Casey Jr. was like that too. The little Casey Jr. train is you would put the bucket in the back, and then the steam engine, the what am I thinking of, the chimney popped off, and you could blow it as a whistle, which is the same as the Mickey one that they had in California. One thing I have a question about, though, is this looks very fragile, this mask. Am I wrong on that? The mask at the top, this is just a prototype picture. I don't know how they're pulling that off. That looks like something that I would freak out about if I was going to carry that around a park all day. So good luck. God bless, Allie. Thank you for your service. Let's move on to something else. Disneyland stuff. So there's a lot of different current projects that are happening in Disneyland that we got updates on this week, and so I figured we would kind of encapsulate them all under one umbrella for this. But one of the things is Paradise Pier Hotel is currently becoming Pixar Place Hotel. I was there, like, that's the one I stay in when I go, because it's the cheapest one. And it's usually available, but out of the Disney hotels, it's the cheapest one. It's not the cheapest one in Anaheim, but it's the cheapest one at Disneyland. And so I like what they're doing here with this one, though, with this the pool for Finding Nemo, which we thought was going to be a full, like, all Pixar character thing originally, but the pool for Finding Nemo looks kind of amazing. This is kind of what a Disney hotel I kind of expect to see, as opposed to what was there before. This almost looks to me to be one of the better pools that I've seen. And I don't know, Patrick, are you a pool guy when you go to a Disney hotel?
I am.
Did you look at this?
I am. Absolutely. I've been looking a lot more at Disneyland because I want to get out there more. I got a little taste in late 2022. And I want to get out there more, especially with the DVC resort coming there. And that pool, especially with the color changing Steamboat Willie kind of deal, they're just doing a great job. I have nothing but positive things to say about Disneyland, and I don't know why we're so divided coastally on great job versus, here's the Hilton catalog, pick out what you want.
Okay, sure. Let me pull up a couple other things here about Disneyland to talk about. One of them is the new Avengers Vault that is opening in mid-September, and I know Allie can't wait to go and pick up a lot of merch from the Avengers Vault. But this is where they've been keeping all of the Avengers stuff in this huge superstore, nowhere near the campus. I mean, realistically, it's nowhere near the campus. It's over on the other side at Hollywood Backlot. But I'm excited, Allie, that this is actually coming to Avengers Campus and might be kind of a less warehousey, more themed sort of a gift shop. Is that what you're thinking this might be?
Yeah, I mean, the superstore never really made sense to me. I mean, I like going in there because it's air conditioning and it's huge in there, so you're not like bumping into people. You can actually kind of like look, and when I have to take 10,000 photos, it's a little easier. But it does make a lot more sense to move this over into the actual campus, because otherwise it just feels really disjointed. It's like if you ask for something, they're like, oh, it's at the superstore. And you're like, okay, I have to leave the land, go through something else, and then go into this weird, awkward warehouse, which that whole area is on my list of things that need to be updated. So we can get to that later.
We will
But
talk about
yeah,
that at the end.
I think it's a positive change for sure.
Yeah, I mean, the first time, Patrick, did you get to see the Superstore when you went, and were you confused a little bit, or no?
No, my time there was so fast and so jet lagged. It was very disjointed. I remember very little of what I saw. A couple photos, and I got to experience a few. That's why I want to go back. I want to go back. I will say that I have found something that I am, a little happier with, is that we're not taking space for attractions and putting stores in them anymore. I think that's the only upsetting part about this, because isn't that going where the attraction was supposed to be?
Well,
The canceled
but I
attraction.
think I think it was supposed to be the exit shop. That's my guess. Is
Oh,
that
okay.
there was supposed to be
That makes
an
sense,
attraction there, and I think if they make an e-ticket attraction, which still could happen, and they've advertised it or promoted it at D23 that it was going to be this King Thanos ride through attraction that looks amazing and kind of like the Cherry Tree Lane attraction or the original e-ticket attraction. Little detail about it, almost like, wow, here's a piece of concept art. Won't that be cool? It's like, what's the ride system? No, look at the art. No, I mean, really, what's the ride? We have a poster of the Thanos, King Thanos. You should have this. And it's like, what's it going to be? I don't know. When's it coming? I don't know. But it's coming. And so we hope that that's still coming. But it'll probably be sort of like a Guardians of the Galaxy thing where they'll take that building and they'll make a big show building behind it. And then, that's where we'll have our e-ticket attraction should that end up happening. I think Disneyland has a better shot at that happening than we would at Disney World. So I'm very hopeful that it still happens, that Josh hooks us up with that. But yeah, that's definitely something to consider. Let's talk about a couple more things real quick about California. San Francisco. I know we've been talking about San Francisco a lot. The bridge looks like it's getting closer to being done. It actually they're painting it, and it looks kind of cool. And they've got the turbine on top of here. And but the thing that I noticed is they've got a bunch of signs ready to go, and then this Aunt Cass situation here. I'm not sure I'm loving that. But this I'm excited about. Like, there's not really a Baymax gift shop. I don't know. Allie, are you the least bit excited about the possibility of a Baymax gift shop?
Baymax is my absolute favorite, and I will be buying one of everything. I am so excited.
Yeah.
That's it? That's all you've got to say, is
That's
that you'll
it.
just be
That's all
buying
I
one
have.
of everything?
Yeah, I'm looking at my Baymax popcorn bucket right now that I got from. What?
I was going to say, I don't have a Baymax popcorn bucket. No, you're talking about the one, that the Baymax Happy Ride. Is that the one from Tokyo? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you have that, because I know he's your boy.
I
This is getting closer and closer to being done, Allie. Does it feel like, I know August 31st is the date that it's supposed to be officially open. We've already seen food sampled. We've already seen other things. It almost seems like we've had 18 grand opening or soft openings for this thing already, and it doesn't happen until the 31st. And the only reason I know it's on the 31st is because Hero told me. Are you thinking that it'll be completely done by the 31st, maybe earlier?
I think it'll be completely done. It looks almost done. Like you said, the only stuff that's not really ready is the Aunt Cass stuff, but it looks like there's a sign up and it's just still wrapped. And then there's walls around everything else. So like as soon as they're done, they'll just take the walls down and we should be good to go. The bridge didn't really have a lot happening with it the last few weeks. And then I left to go to Florida for 10 days and I came back and I was like, whoa, they've actually done stuff. and putting in those last beams. So I think we will be ready to go. It's we joke like every time I go in that land, it's like, where's Waldo? Like they've painted something or added a sign, so we've got to walk around and figure out what it was that they added or taken down. So
Why do you just have the coolest job in the world? That's awesome. I love that. Another thing that's coming is Tiana's Palace. I know there's some controversy place for Palace, but it's Tiana's Palace. September 7th, 2023 is the opening date. We saw some menu items today. It's actually starting to look like the artwork. And I don't know, Stephanie, if you're going to miss the old French Market, or you're excited about this change, or if your kids would even care at all, or if you're excited.
I'm excited. I love this. I think it fits right in with New Square. I think it makes a complete sense, and it makes more sense in Disneyland than it does in Walt Disney World. So I think that they're going to be successful with this, and we'll see what ends up happening, in Disney World later on. But I think this is a great change, and I would love.
Okay. Is there some weirdness happening? I feel like there's some weirdness happening.
there was some weirdness.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I froze.
Don't do that. So Patrick, the one last thing from Disneyland I wanted to talk about was the treehouse, and I wanted to talk to Allie about it, and she said, "No, thank you. I'm done. I'm sick of this place. I'm sick of this thing. This is they took the Swiss Family Robinson treehouse, they made it Tarzan, and they're like, no. We're gonna make it the Adventureland treehouse, inspired by the Swiss Family Robinson." And I mean, are you excited about this at all? I mean, some of it is starting to look pretty cool. I don't know if you go to the one at Disney World.
No, knock it down.
Oh,
Knock it down.
no.
Knock it down. Knock
Really?
those tree houses down. There's valuable real estate that something else could be. Literally anything else is better than that. Ugh.
So I
The
definitely
Adventureland
went to the right
treehouse.
person for this one. I don't know, man. Like, it's one of those things that I think if the
Bulldoze it.
Swiss Family Robinson treehouse in Orlando went away, I'd be sad. But it's also not something that I go to because it seems like a lot of work.
It is.
I like a good Omni mover. Step on it. It takes you through the thing. You step off, have a seat somewhere, get a drink, rather than huffing it upstairs or standing behind people on a rope bridge or stuff like that. So I think it's kind of cool. It's kind of a forced playground because you only have one direction you're going in and you can't touch anything. But I assume. And Stephanie, I don't know. Again, do you take your kids up into this thing just to wear them out? Maybe.
They wear me out. What do you mean? Yeah. No, we like to go on this. I think any more lush greenery that you can have, this is supposed to be Adventureland, right? So to take something out that has so much coverage and foliage, I think would be a miss. But I understand what you're saying, Patrick. It's not one of these people they know and love anymore. But I like what they're doing, this new one in Disneyland, trying to preserve some of the original, but also interject some new storylines. And they have kind of a new family that live, and they're doing more on the first floor, Rob, just for you.
Aw, that's nice. Well, let's switch over to Disney World. What?
Whoa.
That was awesome. Let's switch over to Disney World and talk about some Epcot stuff because why not? So Epcot's kind of in the same vein. There's a lot of things that are like heating up, going to be open soon. But one of the things we saw was that there were more cast member previews of Moana Journey of Water, which is kind of our version, Allie, of San Francisco.
Yeah.
Every 5 minutes we get an update about what's going on. The only difference is you can't walk around inside of this one. So again, I'm going to go to Stephanie on this one. Were your kids are like, when do we get to do this thing? Are you hyping them up for it, or do you not tell them about it because you don't want them to get too excited till it's open?
I mean, every time we go, they say, "Mommy, what's behind this wall and this wall?" So they always ask. Yeah, but no, I mean, we're excited. They love Moana. It's a wonderful. I do think it works in that area because you're so close to. I still call it the living seas, that with the water, but I think it makes sense with the whole edutainment of the life cycle of water, so that's harkening back to the original Epcot.
Gotcha. Well, I mean, the one thing that I saw, Patrick, that was a little bit different, I was not expecting this at all. And you and I may have talked about this before. Magic Band Plus it doesn't integrate with Magic Band Plus. Didn't you assume that it was all going to be like, oh, before you all come in, do you have a Magic Band Plus? No. Would you like to buy one for $50 first before you walk through these gates? Otherwise, you're going to have a horrible time. Yeah, exactly. I mean, again, I'm kind of shocked, but pleasantly shocked that you're not going to need one to go through this experience.
I was hopeful you would need one, not because I want people to have to buy it, but because I like the integration. I really enjoyed the statues. I thought it was cute. I thought it was funny. And I think this has a lot of interactivity with it. It was going to be the Magic Band Plus. It could have been the Magic Band original. The part that really got me is that there's a wet and a dry path. And I appreciate that because not always do I want to get soaking wet at a Walt Disney Park. So good on them for thinking that through.
That's the part that's crazy to me. Journey of water. I mean, go this way to Journey of water, go this way to Journey of not water. That doesn't, I don't, like, if you're going through
Rob,
that.
There's always water. Water's around us always. The journey will teach you that. Sometimes it's not wet.
False.
Maybe there's ice.
No, you got, but again, it's Florida. Why wouldn't you want to get like some water on you? I don't think it's like full like Shamu splash zone. I think it's just like a little misty maybe. I don't know, but I'll have to go through this. And if it's one of these where it's like the difference between a Nickelodeon slime style dump on your head of water versus, not, okay, I'll take not. But at the same time, if it's just like misting and you're somehow interacting with the water, I don't know why you would need that dry path, but it's whatever.
We all walk
people
a
could be
different
allergic
path,
to water.
Rob.
We do all. There are two roads diverged in a Yellowwood, and sorry I could not
I
travel
take the
both.
dry path.
Yes, exactly. Also, while we're at it and talking about things at Epcot, Communicore is coming with this Communicore Hall featuring this mural with Epcot Easter eggs in it. This is a thing of beauty, I feel like. I'm excited about this. I have, no notes. I feel like this is going to be a very cool thing. And Stephanie, I want to go to you on this one. I mean, did you look at this and go, this is awesome and it's exciting?
Yes.
Are they missing something?
Oh, they're trying. They are trying so hard. Zach Ridley and his flooring, and now on the murals, I guess. That's why he got promoted. But I think that they're poor Communicore, right? All of the interventions areas and the building structure is all gone. So they're trying to pull something back for us Epcot fans. And I like it. It's beautiful. I do like it. I just don't know how appreciated it's going to be.
Yeah, like the Horizons building. I think that's very interesting that they would throw
Yes.
that one in there. Hey, here's some
Body
stuff we
Wars.
used to have, but we got rid of it. You would have loved it, but talk about like what's behind the wall when you have to
Right.
explain that to your kids. Like, hey, what's that? Oh, that was Horizons. Oh man, if you think this is good, you should have seen Horizons. Or hey, what was that? Oh, that was Figment. You mean no, that was the good Figment. That's what we wanted to say. That was the good Figment. Also, though, the thing I am excited about with Communicore Hall is this outdoor amphitheater that they're putting together. This looks like it's going to be very cool. I'm happy that they're putting this together. I think we talked about this before as part of the festival center, that maybe they'll move some of the events and things over to this one. Honestly, one of the reasons I would love that is that I feel like anytime I'm going to the to see an event at the American Gardens, I'm running to it. So it's nice that this is in the very middle of the park where maybe I could get to it no matter where I am. I don't know. Probably no one else has been that way. But if you have to go to the American Gardens and you just happen to have been at Test Track, good luck, Godspeed, because it's going to be a while until you get around there. So anybody else excited about Communicore Hall?
You
Allie,
can hear Sugar Ray from other places.
Joey Fatone.
every morning. Are you excited about this?
Yeah, I continue to say, I'm just excited for everything to be done. I mean, the new path that they have is way better than the last time I was at Epcot, but yeah, anything that's in the front will be great. Not having to run back to the American Pavilion will be wonderful, and I just hope they do a really good job.
Okay, Allie, let
I'm
me
here
make
for
you
that.
let me make you angry now. Tell me about this.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah. Okay, so for those that don't know, my other half is Hawaiian, like family from Maui and Oahu, so I'm very aware of the Hawaiian culture and the Hawaiian food. That is not Hawaiian food. Now,
Oh, then you
that
must have
said,
loved this.
Oh gosh.
Actually, that was really good. So I did actually eat all that Tuesday. I will say all three of the dishes are very, very good. They're just not authentic Hawaiian. So if you can get over that part of it, it's fine. But like, it's called spam musubi, not spam sushi. Like, at least call it the correct thing. Like, I just don't like. They have aulani. Like, how is this hard? Like, ask a chef in Hawaii to just come.
That's
and,
not
like,
the way you're supposed to make that roll either, right?
No.
Yeah.
No, you're not
It's supposed to be like
dump
the
sauce
piece.
all over it and cut it in. No, that's not what you do. And then
I just wanted
Kahlua
you to
pork
get
is
angry.
Good, but yeah, and then the Kahlua pork is really good, but then they dump pineapples on it. Like, please stop dumping pineapples on things and calling it Hawaiian. End of my rant.
You can blame Canada. Canada started that. It's on them.
Yeah, let's blame Canada.
This must be Hawaiian because it looks like it's in a Hawaiian cup. So it must be.
That's actually really
Hawaiian.
good. I do like that.
Yeah. Okay. So you walked into this telling me you were going to be angry about all this stuff, and you're like, "No, it's pretty good. It's pretty good." Your only complaint is it's
I'm
not
angry that
It's
they
not
can't-
authentic.
And just call it the correct thing. And just, like, be authentic about it. Like, you have good food there, but just stop wrecking the culture and trying to... And it's not just the Hawaii booth. Look at the Italy booth.
Okay,
Look
thank
at,
you.
Yeah.
As an
look at
Italian.
almost all of the booths. Like, you have people from these countries there. Just get some insight. That's all that
Come try
matters.
what the guidebook is calling Hawaiian food. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like
So,
a
when I do
Mocha
bring
Loca lunch
Kevin in
plate or
November,
something.
he's gonna rant.
You know?
What?
Give me something that's authentically Hawaiian, and give me something that's not just Olive Garden at the Italy booth. Like, come on, there's such
No.
cuisine. Can we stop catering to Middle America who's afraid of food? This is a food and
Right.
wine festival. Like, let's take some risks.
No.
Right.
I know.
That's why I'm there. If I want the regular stuff, I'll go to the regular restaurant.
Yeah, no, I agree. But we talked about this, Allie, when we were at the Food and Wine in California, is that they do take more risks at the Food and Wine in California. The
They
fact
do,
that
and
I had
great.
peanut butter and jelly mac and cheese with Pop Rocks in it, I still can't believe wasn't awful. But there were some things that were. But you're right, they do take risks. So we do actually have a full guide to the Epcot Food and Wine Festival also on WDWNT.com if you want to check that one out. The final thing from Epcot that I wanted to talk about is the Shiki Sai opened up with a soft opening, and I don't usually love sushi. Sorry, don't at me, but I mean all this stuff looks pretty amazing. The restaurant looks like it's had a great refresh, and then of course our folks ordered the $300 sushi boat, and Patrick, you don't even get to keep the boat. It's just $300 worth of sushi. What's up with that?
I'm about to say something insane. If it's not better than Splitsville, I don't want it. That bowling alley sushi is the best. The only thing that comes close is the real California roll from California Grill. Man, that's in Splitsville. I was looking forward to this. Our review was kind of in the middle. We had one of our wigs, which WWNT Interglobe Society, patreon.com/WWNT, who talked about it and seemed to like it a lot more than our staff. So it's always interesting to see, but I don't know. We have really good sushi here on the East Coast, and I love Splitsville. Give me Splitsville sushi.
I think that the most time I've spent with Patrick Hackett in person was at Splitsville. Would you say that's pretty fair? That the most time I've spent with you in one place was at
When
Splitsville.
we hung out,
and
that was my birthday. It was a good time.
these are the
It was
memories I
Alley
will
Cat
cherish
Strike
forever. And it's
themed
absolutely
in my head.
Yeah, and yet we haven't.
Next
done that on
birthday's
Deep in the
Brink
Plus.
themed, Rob. Me, you, and Desi on skates.
Nice.
Okay.
I will never stop. I know it's not funny anymore, and I have no intention of stopping.
Never stop, never stopping. That's what I always say. But you know
Exactly.
what? If we could go back and do Alley Cats before that, that would be great. Let's go ahead and crack
Okay.
that one open. I don't know, but again, I'm excited for people who are excited for sushi to be able to try this. I'm not a big sushi guy, but I do think that it's something that people love, and I'm glad that they've re-themed this place for the third time, so that hopefully like they get it right. Tepanetto has been that since the beginning, I believe, but this has been three things now. So there you go. Let's move on though to what I'm calling straw poll. We've talked about this before. I think obviously for the environmentality that Disney has tried to do, which has been very strange along the way. They made this huge announcement a few years ago that said, "Hey, we're gonna get rid of all the plastics in the park," and then they got a sponsorship with Ziploc and started giving away baggies at Splash Mountain and the Jungle Cruise, and at the Kid Cot stops. So I don't know how that works. But you can still get bags in the park, but you could also pay for them if you need to. But you cannot get a plastic straw on Disney property, and that kind of it is what it is. I think there are better options than paper. I almost like I cringe at the idea of just like a paper straw on a hot Florida day. But now they've gotten to the point where they're saying that they're going to require you to ask for cups, for cup lids, and for paper straws. You can't even self-service your own cup lids and paper straws. I don't know if this is just a money-saving thing now at this point, because the environmental part of it seems to have been something that they've dealt with a little bit. But again, I'm going to go Stephanie and hit the kid thing. Is that when my kids were little, I would not turn them loose with a full cup of anything without a lid on it. So I mean, that to me is kind of crazy. I don't know how you feel about the whole thing.
Unless you want to be in the splash zone, like we talked about the wet path or the dry path, it's definitely going to be the wet path. So yes, last week when we were requesting our ice water at all the quick services like we do, none of them had lids, and we couldn't get the straws either. I do tend to bring my own Bindi plastic straws for my children. So I did have those in my backpack. But other than that, I wish that they would look into bamboo. I think I've said this before as far as the plastic forks and knives and spoons go. Bamboo is a very sustainable option. And I don't know why they don't have a sponsorship with a company that mass produces that. Would fit.
Yeah. Patrick, thoughts?
I agree. There's better products, but if you're going to do this, you need to spend a little bit of money and give me cups that don't spill as easy and aren't as flimsy, and have more really clean water bottle filling stations. Also,
Yes.
Coke Freestyle everywhere with lids. It works really well for Universal. It makes me happy that I can get Coke Freestyle and just carry my cup around. It's not just functional at the resort. There's a lot of solutions, and they're environmentally sound. They're going cheapest route of least resistance.
That does sound accurate. By the way, David Lung in chat has corrected me that now you can also no longer get the baggies at Splash Mountain. Who knew? Did I miss something?
True.
Why aren't they giving those away anymore, Allie? That's very crazy. I assume we still have the same problems out at Disneyland, though, is that they, with the cups and lids and such, right? And I don't know. I know that when they redid Toontown, they did install some of those water bottle filling stations.
Yeah, there are a lot of those water bottle refilling stations, but like they said, half the time they're like dirty or the water is kind of weird and warm coming out of there. Like in Florida, I would always just fill up my hydro flask at the hotel with like a whole bunch of ice and water, and then I $20 resort cup, which is like unlimited refills, is a really, really good deal. So just fill that up with whatever soda or iced tea that you want, and just carry that around the park. And I may or may not have just filled that up at some of the other soda stations inside the park, but we just don't talk about that. So
What?
they
Wow.
don't stop. They don't stop me.
I've never once considered that. I am such a goody two shoes. That
I was going to
So
say,
here's what
Allie, be part of the
happened.
solution.
I saw somebody at Pim's just full on filling up their hydro flask in that freestyle station with soda, just full on. Cast member standing there. Cast member didn't say anything. So I was like, you know what? screw it. So I always bring my cup like this, and I just I give them enough money. Like a free soda or iced tea every now and then is not
You
going to
deserve
make or
it.
break them.
True.
You give
I
them
do.
enough of
I
Rob's
really do.
money too.
Right.
Wow. Wow. This is upsetting, Allie. We're going to have an intervention with you later. This is unbelievable. Unbelievable. Mickey is a good friend of mine. I can't believe that you would take advantage of his goodwill here
Hey,
and
I
do
gave
all
them
this.
$20 up. I paid for the resort cup.
By the
Yeah.
way, I need everybody here to know that that when you hear water, that's Patrick having his own journey of water down
Oh
in the
my
bottom
God.
corner.
I keep forgetting to mute. I'm sorry I'm doing unnecessary Foley work.
That's okay.
I'm
That's all
sorry.
right. I mean,
I'm
it's
so
adding to
sorry.
the whole
I
thing.
Didn't
No, it's
even
all
consider.
it's
I'm like, oh,
it's
cup's empty. Oh God.
yeah.
Pouring
Yeah,
water,
it's okay.
right?
You know what?
I'm
Patrick,
so sorry.
stay hydrated, my friend. Stay hydrated.
I've
Let's
been
talk-
out of it. 2 weeks worth
let-
of vacation. I'm shot.
Let's talk about these wraps. So the fact that they wrap all of these things to add more whimsy to Disney, I kind of love. I love that you have the wrapped Skyliners and then the wrapped buses. They are adding an Encanto and Encanto wrap to the Skyliner and a Coco themed bus to Walt Disney World. I got to tell you, the buses don't excite me as much as the Skyliner buckets, and also I would rather be in a non wrapped Skyliner bucket when I'm riding, because then I have a clearer view and also I can actually take pictures out of the Skyliner bucket. And also it's so funny to me because like when I was a little kid and they had the Tomorrowland to Fantasyland sky buckets, I wanted the blue one all the time. And when you're in it, you don't really know it's the blue one. You're just like, when you're in it, you're not really enjoying what's on the outside. So if I'm like, oh my gosh, it's the Stitch one, and then I get in, I can't see Stitch. I want to be in the one behind the Stitch one, but it's just like, yeah, it's kind of crazy on that kind of stuff. But Encanto could have happened a long time ago, Patrick. I mean, they did the 50th anniversary one. That was easy enough to do. Why are we waiting
Was
until
it?
now to do it?
Because the
And don't you
monorail
think they
got
should,
like a quarter of a wrap.
yeah. Don't you think they should swap them out more?
I don't know. I like seeing the classic characters. I wish they themed them to where they were going a little bit better. That would be like, oh, I'm getting on the Figment bus. I must be going to Epcot. It's cool. Whatever. No big deal. You know, it should have had an Encanto one. They need to be ahead of their projects. But I guess when there's been so many busts, you don't want to be like, hey, here's the Elemental section that made $5 million.
Oh, dang.
Elemental's fine, by the way. It's fine. It's perfectly cromulent.
But at the same time, they could keep sinking money into Soul. So, I mean, that.
I mean,
one-
Joe's going to be playing piano somewhere for reasons.
Joe Gardner, everyone. That's going to be great. So let's go back and talk about something else that I actually think is kind of cool. Is they have a Wandering Oaken trading post at the back of the co-op. And what I love about this is it's almost like, with all of the Disney stores closing, it's almost like they went, hey, is there a way we can discount our own merchandise on property and not make it look stupid? And they found a great outlet for it. And Stephanie, because of the excitedness on your face, I want you to talk about this.
I love this. This is
Yes.
a long time coming. You're absolutely right. I have been known to take special trips over to Character Warehouse to go things that are maybe off season that are now discounted prices. I'm like, why haven't they done this before? I mean, yes, you get the occasional, like, this is 30% off or whatever, but why haven't they had a specific area just like this? And the theming is great. I mean, bring in more, but let's do more of this. Let's have, one down at Disney Springs, and let's do it somewhere else inside of the parks. I think it's wonderful. It's a great idea.
Yeah, I agree. But when I first saw it, I was like, oh, Wandering Oaken, where is that? Like, I saw the headline. I was like, well, where is that? And then I go and look at it. I'm like, wait, what? This is awesome. Because that's what the co-op is about doing little like testing areas for things. And so This takes place in the back of it, which you would, usually most stores put their clearance stuff in the back of the store anyway. But the fact that it's sort of this fun theme that like the Wandering Oaken, he's dealing today, and you can go and get 50% off of some of this stuff right there, and don't have to travel down and spend your money down at the outlet store. But again, there's only a handful of Disney stores left in the world, other than the one in New York. They're almost all, I think, outlets. So, why wouldn't they do something like this on property? I think this is exciting and kind of amazing. But let's move on to the next topic, meet and greets. This is not just Mirabelle, because Mirabelle is doing a meet and greet thing, but we had to say goodbye to this meet and greet at Epcot for Vanellope. But it's making way for the Figment meet and greet, which I'm pretty excited about. Allie, tell me you're excited about meeting Figment for the first time, and what do you expect that to be?
Oh, I expect it to be mad chaos, but I am super, super excited for Figment to return. I guess before he was just a puppet, so we don't really know what he's going to be, do we? If it's going to be just Figment or Dreamfinder and the puppet. I don't know. Whatever it is, as long as it's not that new weird Figment, like, I am totally on board and I am totally here for it. Give me all of the Figment.
All of the Figment. I'm hoping it's that, like, the one we talked about last week with the AI, that it's that living character initiative. That's what I would expect it to be, is something that's a little bit more sort of puppet meets animatronic kind of a thing. But, I mean, basically, Patrick, it's going to be Figment. Does your daughter get in? Does she love Figment like she's supposed to?
She tries to take this all the time, and I'm like, no, that's Daddy's Figment. Yeah, I might like that guy a little bit. I mean, I'm very, very excited. I have a great place to put Vanellope, too. She was rumored to get her own attraction, but she can go hang out in Stitch's Great Escape so we can meet her and Ralph, because she's a great character to meet. Very, very excited for the Figment meet. I actually hope it's Dreamfinder and a pup. Dreamfinder and Figment.
Well, I mean, maybe it will be, but can you get this tattooed on?
No, I got one Figment already. I got that back here. That's good. Okay, it smells so good.
If you say so. Anyway, yeah, we were talking about, so Mirabelle is getting her own place, and we knew that this was coming.
Dumb.
Why would you do? We'll see Patrick next week.
No.
No, it's fine. It's all fine. So Mirabelle's meet and greet is coming to where Meritus was, and we now know it's going to be there on September 15th, which is very exciting. Stephanie, are you planning a trip just for this?
No, I wish so, but we're going to be back in November, so I can't do just that. I did find Merida crouched behind the castle at the Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party, which was sad to see her kind of kicked out, but I'm glad she was still around. Yes, I'm excited for, yeah, there she is, but she's in a better spot in that picture where I found her. But I'm glad that they have the Encanto characters. My kids also love that. That movie is a sweet movie, and it, unfortunately was during the COVID and everything like that, and it just didn't have a very good run in the theaters, but I think super replayed on Disney Plus a lot, and I think they're very popular, so I'm excited for this. I hope that it has like some little casita magic that goes on behind her.
Okay. I hope so as well. And again, like we talked about, wouldn't it be great if there was a secret path that you could go to behind it to be able to meet Bruno? But we don't talk about Bruno, so we'll find out at the very end whether that's the thing that's happening. Patrick, buddy, I want to talk to you about this one. There are bats in the belfry at the Pirates of the Caribbean, and I don't know. Do you get a lot of bats in Connecticut? Are you
we do.
afraid of them? Are you?
No, I'm only afraid of snakes and possibly sharks. I'm not really sure. I've never encountered a real shark, but I didn't like Jaws popping out of the water all that much. Bats are real big trouble because they're endangered, so you can't disturb them. You need to get someone very skilled to relocate them, to safely relocate them. I hope those bats are treated well. They're pretty adorable, and they take care of pets like mosquitoes and those awful love bugs. But they do not belong in attractions, and they especially don't deserve Fast Pass Plus. or whatever it's called now. Lightning Lane. I've
Lightning Lane.
Man, my brain is just not functioning. I'm several years ago.
What? Welcome to the
Yeah.
throwback episode, Fast Pass
Yeah.
Plus. Woo!
Yeah,
That's something.
remember that? Yeah.
No.
Bats
No, I
don't get
don't.
it. Bats have to wait in line with everyone else.
Yeah, exactly. Let's talk about Lorcana. And, Lorcana is the big card game. We talked about it last week on Park Center, so if you haven't seen it, you can go back and look. That Alicia was on, and she was talking about, stop it, she was talking about going to Gen Con and all the mess that they had there where they got to get the cards early. Then this past Friday, they released at game stores, but they were supposed to be at the park. So we had a lot of disappointed people that they didn't get to go into the parks and get them. And honestly, if I was in Florida, that's exactly where I would go, because you have to go find game stores in your area, which is not always easy to do, Patrick. And that's where you got yours, right?
I went to a local game store in Cape Cod. I had time there, and I discussed it with Ron, and he said the big chain there was too big to get it because you had to go to like a local. And so I bought the gift pack, which came with these 2 awesome jumbo cards, which are playable, and 4 packs. So I got a few cards, nothing that I think was too tremendously valuable. A couple friends here in Connecticut bought it and got what at the time was a $300 pull. It was a Hades that was like a full art card. It seems like it's going to be a legitimate craze. One of our wigs, I think it was Moogle, was in a tournament, and it's cool. I'm excited. I want to play. The gift set came with, let me see if I can get it without spilling anything. Nope, I can't. The gift set came with a bunch of like tokens to teach you how to play the game. It's very exciting. Really, really, really cool. I'm going to go get some more tomorrow, I think.
Yeah. Well, I have a problem with collecting, you know this, and so Lorcana was something that from the beginning I was all about, and my son always used to do Pokemon cards, and so I get the connection and how it works. There, you can collect them, and we talked about it last week on the show. You can collect them, or you can play the game, or both, right? Here's my collector's problem: is I bought the trove, and I have the collector's trove, and it's unopened. It's mint in box. For me to get inside it, to have the cards, I need to open the mint in box. It's a paradox for me here. I'm having some problems. So, what is that? Oh, that's your gift set box? Yeah.
No, I
that
opened
looks
it,
horrible.
and I opened those big cards to show everyone.
Yeah.
I was keeping those in the package, but no, they're really awesome. The artwork, I am completely impressed with how good the artwork is, especially on the foils. The foils really pop. They shimmer, they shine. It's nice.
Okay. Stephanie, could you care any less?
No.
Accurate. That's exactly where I thought you would be with this. Yeah, and they're hard to come by. Right now you have to, and I love the marketing concept of you have to go to a game store, support your local game store to get them on the 18th, which is Friday when they came out. Then the next opportunity will be on September 1st when you can buy them online. A lot of those pre-orders are going through big box stores like Best Buy and places like that. So, if you can get your hands on them, that's great. I know that, we're all excited about it here because it's Disney, but also I know that it's not for everybody. The same thing with Pokemon Go. Pokemon Go is like an incredible craze for like 18 minutes. Now, I still do it. I'm going to admit that. I still do it. But I think that a lot of people will be that way with the cards, and maybe it'll die out. Maybe it won't. But if card games are so huge, please bring back Sorcerers of the Magic Kingdom. Wasn't that fun and
Yes.
free and awesome, and a thing that you could do with your kids and all that? That was kind of great. We're running a little bit late on time, so I do want to talk about this real quick, is that Ahsoka is coming to Galaxy's Edge at Disneyland, where I feel like, Allie, y'all get the characters first, which on the one hand is pretty exciting. On the other hand, this means that Allie gets to now be in charge of stalking Disneyland, waiting for Ahsoka's arrival, right?
No, I actually think Tom and hopefully the new girl will do that because Wednesday is not my normal day. But I think it's super cool that we continue to get the new Star Wars characters. It's a way for the fans to get excited about it. I have a couple friends that are super go. They do a really good job with the characters and the costumes, and it's cool. I like that they keep the land interactive, and it makes you want to go because it's like, oh, maybe Boba Fett will be there, maybe Mandalorian will be there, maybe Ahsoka will be there. It's cool. They do a good job with it.
I did get pretty excited when Boba Fett was there, even though it's like, modern day
Yeah.
Boba Fett when he was at the top of a turret and looking around and I was like waving at him and he kind of did one of these and I was just like, oh, it's Boba Fett. He
it's
just
cool.
did that. Yeah. I'm sure, Patrick, you feel the same way.
You know what I'm gonna say. You know exactly what I'm gonna say. It's ridiculous that
Disneyland is
Disneyland
better.
gets this stuff. When the stupid Star Cruiser is done, can we then forget that this world needs to be like in some sort of continuity and have these characters in Walt Disney World? There's no reason. It's the stupidest thing.
I still think it would make the
Okay.
land more interesting if they would put up a sign every day that says, today, this is the date in this land, and they change the characters. And I think it would always fit and always work, and it would be a randomness, and you could go and see what was new. That would be so fun to me. Is that like, what era am I visiting this land in, and that they could change things. I think that would be great.
Love that idea.
Okay, well, let's make it
Yeah.
happen.
If they get Sabine and I don't get to meet Sabine, like, that's upsetting because that's where this is headed. Is that there's going to be a Sabine, and
Yeah.
that's very upsetting. Or
It's
Chopper.
100% going to
Like
happen.
if Chopper starts rolling around Disneyland, the revolution is
We
on.
had Chopper. He came for Star Wars night. We had Chopper.
Of course you did. That's right. Yeah.
Here's the thing, Patrick.
no.
I start
you
to
me.
ignore things that enrage me after a while.
Let's go to Disneyland, dude. Let's do it.
Just come out here. Skip a Florida trip and come out for Star Wars
I
night.
just don't understand how cheap it is to fly from Connecticut to Orlando.
Alicia's in chat saying, be fair to WDW. Adventures by Alicia. Thank you. Be fair to WDW. Agree, Patrick. Let's just get a bunch of Wigs members and let's just do a trip out to Disneyland.
Yes.
I mean, come on, let's do it. I'm down. Let's make it happen. Thank you. That's all I'm asking. Just give Peace a chance. That's all I'm asking. So one thing that led to the discussion we're about to have, so I want to make sure we talk about this, and I just called it hands down John loses his grip, is that the hand fell off of John in the Carousel of Progress. I'm sad. John's hand. But I mean, it's one of those things that feels like daily maintenance would have been okay to help this out, but this is why we started the conversation of what needs to be updated. The Carousel of Progress is one of these things that rumors have spread for years about them updating this attraction, which would probably mean a full overhaul of the animatronics. This is a show that goes all day long, every day. Anytime they do any little change, all the bloggers and the super fans, i.e. the people on this panel, run to check out and see the reindeer slippers that they've added to the last scene. But the dialogue hasn't changed. Nothing's changed there. Everything's still the same as it was. And the future is not today in that last scene. So it would be really nice if we could see something a little bit more updated than this. But have you ever seen, Allie, have you ever seen an animatronic fall apart like this in person?
I have not, and I actually went on the Carousel of Progress the day after that happened, and everything was back to normal. But yeah, I'm with you on that. I think it just needs some maintenance. I don't want it changed. I just want it refreshed and updated, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Izzo's Place says John Hamm fell at Carousel of Progress. I hadn't heard. Now, see, this is how rumors get started. But Patrick, what were you gonna say?
Squirrels live there now. I mean, it's their
Oh,
attraction.
no.
They have to do the maintenance. I don't know why they keep your attraction. The bats are taking good care of pirates. This is where we're at now. Outsourced completely. It's animal shops. We get a princess. She gets them all ready to go, and they're in charge of maintenance.
All right, so let's do this. Let's take a quick commercial break. We'll come back, and we're going to talk about how we all have our own list of things that we feel like need to be updated at Disney parks, and we're going to talk about them after the break. So please don't go away. Come back, hang out with us, and be part of the conversation. This is Park Center. We'll return in a second. This is Disney Entertainment News Today. I'm Rob Whiteside, and here now are the top Disney entertainment stories.
For the latest in Disney entertainment news, watch Disney Entertainment News Today, hosted by Rob Whiteside. From movies and series news to stage shows, books, video games, and more. New episodes drop every Tuesday on WWNT.tv.
This program is brought to you by WIGS, the WDWNT Inner Globe Society. Support WDWNT to get early and exclusive access to content you can't find anywhere else, including exclusive post shows for WDW News Tonight and Park Center, access to our prize wall, a monthly Zoom with Tom, access to our Discord community, early access to our events, and much more, starting at just $2 per month. For more information, visit patreon.com/WDWNT or visit WDWNT.com and click the Patreon link. Join WIGS and unlock even more WDWNT.
It's time to adjust that set and turn that dial to WDWNT TV, our new channel where some of your favorite programming from the WDW News Today YouTube channel is heading. If you want to continue to see Boxed In on Fridays, Park Center on Sundays, and as well our Thursday night comedy variety show WDW News Tonight, you'll have to catch them at their new home, WDWNT TV. It's easy to subscribe. Just put in the URL, WDWNT.tv. Hit subscribe and make sure you get those notifications. Again, is the only way you'll be able to continue to see these great shows as they are moving away from the WDW News Today channel permanently. We hope to see you over there in our new home, WDWNT TV. We now return you to your regularly scheduled programming.
Welcome back to Park Center. Thank you guys again so much for being with us on your Sunday night. We always appreciate you. If you have not already, please give this video a thumbs up as it helps people to find us. And then also you can check out some of our past episodes. We've had a lot of cool topics recently, including the best snacks in the park, some of our favorite quotes and things like that. So we'd love to have you go back, take a look at some of the other shows in the catalog, and then join us every Sunday night at 9 p.m. for Park Center. We appreciate you guys being here. Also, Deep in the Plus this Wednesday night, we're going to have Maleko McDonald, who is my friend from Hawaii. He's going to be talking about Turner and Hooch for some strange reason. I don't know why. That's one he picked. So we'll be talking about that this week. So this is the discussion topic for the night. Again, it came to me off of the whole John thing, because I know that when the Carousel of Progress is talked about, it's one of those things that we always talk about. They need to update it. And we've had conversations on here before about, the $17 billion that they're looking to spend in Florida and how to spend Josh D'Amaro's money. I think a lot of us were like, yep, new attractions. That's absolutely what we want. But there are a lot of things that still need to be updated that are out of date. And there could be a million reasons they're out of date. It could be they just don't fit in today's society. It could be a thing where they need so much maintenance they just need a complete overhaul, or something that needs to be fixed. Now, we do know that we love Disney because of tradition, so we don't we get a little like rammy when they do things like talk about removing the country bears or talk about getting rid of some beloved attraction. He's already getting angry down there. Talk about some kind of thing like that. So we understand, though, that there are some things that we feel like are beloved and need to stay the way they are, just need to be freshened up. And then some things that we think, it may be time for an update of some sort. And so I asked the panel to go through and give me their top three. And the fun thing is that when Patrick was done with his list, his original list was different. But when his final list hit, all three of you had different top threes. So obviously there's a lot of work to do in the Disney parks. And so this is not building new attractions. This is not necessarily maintenance. This is just updating the attraction. And so Stephanie comes from the world of entertainment, and she was like, entertainment, I have thoughts. So this isn't about that or adding things to the park. We're just talking about fixing things that need to be fixed. So Stephanie, I'm going to go to you first and ask you what things you did. Actually, before I do that, one thing that I did set up, and I'm hoping that this works for us tonight, is I set up a poll for our viewers to see if we could get some interaction from everybody out there. And the poll is this: which park do you think needs to be the most updated? Or needs the most updates? And so I have Magic Kingdom, Epcot, Studios, Animal Kingdom, Disneyland, DCA, Disney California Adventure, or something else. It could be resorts or whatever if you don't agree with any of these. So the way this works is you should be able to do pound 1 through 7, 7, and go through and tell us your thoughts. So we'd love to get your feedback about which park you think needs to be updated. But it's Stephanie. I want to go first and maybe start with your number 3 and work your way back to number 1. What do you think needs to be updated at Disney Parks and Resorts?
So I put Carousel of Progress, as we already discussed, for all the reasons that we've already said. But I would just be happy if they left everything the same, just refreshed the animatronics. I mean, this thing is it's going to be 60 years old next year. So, the fact that they've been able to maintain it this long, I mean, it has the Robin from Mary Poppins in the window. Like, it needs to stay the way it is, but just take out Laserdisc. Just take that out in the dialogue at the end, and I'd be happy.
So you had the original version from Disneyland, or from the World's Fair, that went to Disneyland, and then they changed it there. So again, y'all keep voting. Let us know. Patrick, what's number 3 on your list?
So number 3 on my list is Muppet Vision 3D. The seats are in utter disrepair. The effects don't always work, and I don't ever want to touch that video. That video is pure perfection, and also it's one of the few Muppets about Walter being in, because he's garbage. But please refresh and update this theater. If you want to update the pre-show, maybe we don't need Constantine in it, because but give this place some love. Why are we not doing more with the Muppets? Do more Muppets.
Do more Muppets. Some people in the chat were saying, I'm sorry, I got a little sidetracked. Some people in the chat were saying it was lagging. Some people said I hit refresh and it was fine. I don't see any lag here, so hopefully everything's good. Alicia says we're good, so we're good. Here's the thing, though. That's one of those things I feel like should be untouchable. This was like Jim Henson's last hurrah. So I think that the source material needs to stay the same. I'm okay with them updating the entire theater, because we've shown things on WDWNT.com of like the horrible, like you said, the seats and the disrepair. Every now and then I'll go in, and it's one of those things that I know so well that if I don't see the smoke when Waldo burns rubber, or if I don't see, like the arrows hit the wall or they don't retract in or whatever, I'm just like, okay, that's broken. This is broken. I definitely feel like this is, to me, hallowed ground, because it was Jim Henson's final thing. I love it. The jokes still work for me and all that kind of stuff. But you're right. Like, they need to just refresh the whole thing and not just take it down for a week, but just like replace the seats, make it like back to its original grandeur, because we don't have it at Disneyland anymore. It's been replaced with what I will arguably say is the worst version of Mickey's PhilharMagic that exists. So, at me for that one. Allie.
I'm struggling here because I sent you 7 things. Yeah, 7.
7.
7.
7.
So I'm going to combine these two because they're kind of the similar things that we were just saying, would be Spaceship Earth and Soarin'. Same thing. They're great rides. They just need to be updated. Like Soarin', we have the technology. I'm not one that's a huge fan of projections, but I feel like we have the technology to redo those videos and not make the Eiffel Tower look like it's folding in half, and to not completely take you out of some of these scenes. So let's either reshoot this, or even if ever need to do. And Spaceship Earth, same thing. Like, I don't want it changed, but it definitely needs some love. Same as Carousel of Progress. Please don't change it, but let's just refresh it and make it just feel a little more current.
Yeah, but again, like the fourth scene, I'd be okay with them updating that in Carousel of Progress, like Stephanie said, like let's get rid of that laser disc and make it
Laserdisc
something. When he's like, oh, that voice activation stuff, and I'm like, we all have that in our pockets now. It's like, what are we even doing, right? Grandpa, you're way out of touch. But when you go and talk about Soarin' and Spaceship Earth, I think they need totally different things, right? Like Spaceship Earth, they need to rip all that track out like they talked about doing and really make it better and take out. I can't imagine what things are hiding behind sheets in the dark when that in that decline at the end. So yeah, definitely one of those things that I'm like, I'm not really sure. And I think
Or that
Stephanie,
mammoth scene at the beginning, like why is it so dark? You can't see what's happening.
Yeah. Stephanie, you had that one on your list too, right?
Actually going to piggyback on what Ali just said. The mammoth scene at the beginning for sure needs to be an updated projection, whatever you like to do for that. But also the Earth, as you come up and it says your vehicle's going to spin around, and why is the Earth still so stationary and just I mean, there's something up there. I wish that they would just take the time, like you said, take the track out, replace that, keep everything the same as you're inclining, but then on the decline, as you get to the top and then coming back down, they need to add new sets, new structures. In fact, my daughter and I, this last time we were there last week, we started to try to look behind things as much as we could to see, oh, look, there's still something over there, and look over here if you turn around when you go past it, So she had never paid attention to that before. But yeah, I think that there definitely needs to be an additional update to that. And keep the rest of it the same. I know they were going to add lights to like the Egyptian scene and some other things before. I don't really know that that's necessary.
Well, I mean, there was supposed to be a whole new storyline, right? It was about the spark of storytelling, and there was going to be a spark that followed you through and told the spark of storytelling instead of the history of communication. Well, it lights up for you.
I like it being communication still, though. I like Judi Dench.
Yeah.
Well, and that was the thing, right? Is that when they built all these attractions originally, it took you through the past, present, and future of whatever it was. Horizons was, like innovation and invention, and World of Motion was about, how we get from place to place, and all of the history, not history, but like imagination, the land, all of these things they walked you through the process, and that was the edutainment of it. I just think that for Spaceship Earth, it's a rough ride anymore, and the jib jab doesn't work. Like the pictures they take of you are horrible, and then the bit at the end, like it's almost painful. And the whole time I'm just like, they want you to stare at this screen so you don't see what used to be here. And I remember
exactly
what used to be there, and it just makes me sad. So yeah, I agree with you on both those facts. Let's go Snake Draft way and go back around and have Ali, you pick a number 2 that you want to say that you think needs to be updated.
The Hollywood area of DCA. It is a waste of space. We already talked about that the Marvel store is going away. It is the worst version of PhilharMagic. There is that sad little stand that sells alcohol, that awkward truck thing that I don't even know what they have, and like some weird stages. Like, just get rid of it. Oh, and Monsters Inc. Like, I mean, it's a cute ride, but that ride needs to go. Like, raise all of that and just, extend Avengers Campus. Add in basically Flight of Passage and make it Marvel themed. Give us our e-ticket that we want. Like, it's just such dead space over there.
How do you really feel?
That it sucks.
No, okay. Let me ask you, Patrick. You've been to DCA, but like just once, right? When you got over there, were you like, oh my gosh, Monsters Inc., all these cool things over here? Or were you like, what is this area?
I was like, oh my gosh, Monsters Inc., why is there so much California in this California park? I'm like, why am I existing in California? This makes very little sense, and it's upsetting to me.
Thank you. Yes.
That's what you did. Looks like here. This actually surprises me. It looks like in the chat, or the voting from the chat, and you guys again pound 1 through 7 to vote. Looks like most people say Magic Kingdom needs the most updates. That's interesting to me because I feel like It means more stuff for sure, and that's attractions and things. But I know we said Carousel of Progress, but I think that's the only thing we've said. But Patrick, what's your next thing that needs to be updated?
So I think, in my mind, Epcot needs the most updating. And one of our wigs, and again, I'm really sorry I don't remember your username, said they give Figment so much love all over the park. He's this icon for the park. And his attraction is trash. It is awful. Especially when you consider what it used to be. And if you've never gotten the chance, please go find the original Journey into Imagination and enjoy that. And not this nonsense with a Monty Python who doesn't even appreciate his impact in the theme park world. Get him out of there. Let's make this something that we can be proud of and that's fitting of Figment. I think for a long time you had a really good chance, and maybe with it coming back, Phineas and Ferb and Figment, Dan Pomemeyer loves the Disney company, and it needs something. That attraction is short. It's dumb, man. I still ride it every single time I go, and I enjoy it, but it's dumb.
You have just created my new favoriteest thing in the entire world that I want to see: Phineas and Ferb and Figment. Like, whatever that is. It needs to be a TV show, a comic book, video game, and an attraction. Like, make that a thing that happens.
We got this whole thing here. This is great. You want to base an attraction off of this? Get Jim Zub in there and let him do some work.
But don't you think that the Figment has to look like our original Figment no matter what happens there? I feel like
I don't want that weird skinny Figment that's in like the Mickey and Minnie new design. No.
Oh yeah, well.
So there's always a question about who is the audience for this ride, right? Ever since it came in, like who actually cares about this? And I found the audience, 11-month-olds. Little babies. She loved it. I got off and went on it. We did the Epcot after hours, and I'm telling you, because of course there's nobody there, we rode it 5 times in a row, just back on and off. We were the only people, and she would point and find Figment in every scene. Absolutely loved it. Bought her first Figment. Yeah. That's who it's for.
Brava. That's great. I love that. That's fantastic. That's absolutely the demo that most advertisers go for, is the 11-month-old demo. So that's a very valuable demo to have. Thank goodness they have this attraction. But the funny part is, like, that they do, as you said, Patrick, they do so much with Figment in merchandising and as a mascot for the Festival of the Arts, and even Food and Wine and things like that, but he's got a trash attraction in comparison to what it originally was. And I don't think we knew how good we had it back in the day with the original one. That one was so good. And if you go back and watch, and I think you may have mentioned like the Back to the Future we have on it, and see like all the making of footage of like behind the scenes of how things worked with that turntable was state of the art. It was so state of the art. They were still trying to figure it out and had to delay the opening of it because they didn't know what, trying to get it to work. And it was amazing that they would bring different, bring you in and then rotate you through and then feed you out into the attraction a bit at a time. So I loved that attraction. I worked that attraction. I think that was great. I would love to see them do it justice and bring something else back, because what we have is a shadow of what it used to be. But like you said, I still go and do it. I'm like, they got to do Figment. They got to get that, and there's usually no line. If you're wasting a lightning lane off of your Genie Plus on this, please don't, because usually the people in the standby lane still beat you. So it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous that that's a thing. Let me go back real quick, though, to something that Allie was talking about, because I pulled this map up of Hollywood, the backlot there in Disney California Adventure. This is the backlot. This is it. This is the space. And it is a lot of wasted space, including the world's worst Mickey's PhilharMagic. Yeah, and that huge warehouse that they're using for the Avenger store, they're not even using the whole thing. And then the Monsters Inc. ride, which I like that ride. And then that big warehouse that sits behind where over next to the Hyperion, that was supposed to be something and ended up never being anything. The only thing that I like about this land are the Monsters Inc. and the animation building, because there's a lot of things in the animation building we don't have on the East Coast anymore that still exists, like the drawing class and some of the interactive stuff that's in there. It's a beautiful building, and it's got air conditioning, and it's a great place to chill out and just vibe. I kind of dig that. But like we were talking about last week, the Disney Junior Dance Party, and I said, is it time for that to go? And a lot of people were like, Rob, the little kids need something to do, and it's a way for them to, like, you know, shake off their energy and all that. And I was like, they need something better, because the old Playhouse Disney puppet show was so amazing with Bear in the Big Blue House and PB and J Otter and those things. That was much, to me, more entertaining for family, but also for little kids. It was geared toward little kids, but a whole family could go in and enjoy it. So I mean, Disney Junior Dance Party, I guess, could stay, but like some of this stuff, you're right, Allie. There's a lot of space that they're kind of wasting. That little stage back there, the only time I've ever seen it used was when we did Oogie Boogie and Cruella de Vil was up there. That's about it. So, yeah, they need to do something there. All right, Stephanie, do you have another one?
My last one is not an attraction, actually. It's just being more conscious and aware that you are in Florida and not California. California has better temperate temperature, like just nicer all the way around. And this last week, I was, like I said, heat advisory in Florida. It was awful. You step outside and you are melting from the moment that you get out of the air conditioning. And so we went to the Riviera, and we went to Topolino's we came out, we were trying to get onto the Skyliner to go to Epcot. And one side of the Skyliner to go back to towards Hollywood Studios was underneath an awning, like the entire way to get to, you know, the Riviera. But you have to go around the side of that structure to get to the Epcot line. And there was no shade at all. And I'm going, how much would it cost just to throw up some awnings that are similar to the other side of this to allow for people to stand there in line? Because we did have to wait. And same thing throughout many of the different areas of the parks, just more shade, more trees, something that would give more coverage in the summertime.
That's a crazy thought. I don't know why they haven't done that, honestly. I mean, I think
The Bobs say no.
We learned that the Bobs say no. I think we learned that the most when Toy Story Land opened up, and it was like, this is just pounding heat of Florida, and now they have this like aftermarket line of umbrellas that go all the way up through the Slinky Dog line. It just doesn't make any sense. They should have done some sort of cover. I know that in Bugs Land, there were the big clovers. Like, that was brilliant, and it was like well themed, and it gave you some cover for little kids and an area that was all about little kids. So that was kind of great. Patrick, what's your number one?
So somebody actually just said it in the chat, and I want to give a shout out to my wife, because I said, hey, what do you think needs renovation? And she went with Carousel of Progress and the monorails. That's not mine. I want to stick to my guns in my list, but the monorails absolutely need to be updated. For me, it is very personal, and it is DVC rooms at Bay Lake Tower. These seem to still be the original rooms. I might be incorrect with that, but they are not up to par of what we're looking at the Polynesian, at the Grand Floridian, at the Boardwalk after the refurbishment. They need to be updated. I get it. You're the closest thing walking distance to the Magic Kingdom, and you can rest on those laurels, but those rooms are not near what I expect for deluxe level stay, and not nearly in comparison to Poly and Grand Floridian. It's just, yeah, it's not. And the worst one is the entertainment center. The TV is a million years old. The entertainment center is all wood, and it just doesn't look great. I'd much rather prefer to have that nice bed that comes out and find some better way for storage. The DVC resorts are getting a ton of love, and I appreciate it. Saratoga looks good. I mean, that it looks, I know that's kind of IKEA chic is what we do now, but it doesn't look great, and it's worn down. And those are obviously pictures, but when you get some video tours, it looks much more beaten up than it is. And I want the amenities that I get when I go to Poly, that I get when I go to Grand Floridian, that I can get at Old Key West. It's just not the same level of room.
Something like the Disneyland Hotel would bringing that type of aesthetic to contemporary, I think would work.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Let me. One of the things you said, you asked your wife. I asked my wife what needed to be updated, and without hesitation, she said and Stephanie, I think you were on the show where we talked about bathrooms, like the best and the worst bathrooms. She, without hesitation, she said the Liberty Tree bathroom. Like that was it. Like
Yes.
immediately, she was like, the Liberty Tree bathroom needs to be updated. Oh my gosh, that needs to be updated. And so,
Smart.
yeah, that was one of the first things. And then she started thinking about it again. She was like, and something we kind of teased at the beginning of this about transportation. She said the way you get to the park, and specifically the Magic Kingdom. The Magic Kingdom is a bear to get to. And I think it was about presentation, right? They didn't have the blessing of size in California. My brother, the first time we went to Disneyland before I did, I'll never let him live that down. He went to Disneyland and he said it was just like going to like a standard theme park. You just pulled up to the front gate and parked and walked in, and it was just no presentation. And you think about how glorious that is for somebody the first time when they're taking the ferry or the monorail to go over, over the Seven Seas Lagoon and seeing the castle in the distance and getting really excited. But like we talked about at the top, it takes at least an hour, it feels like, to go from your car to the front gate, and that's the tragedy. And so people try to find their way around it, as we know. But the best way to do it is to actually stay there. But if you stay there, a lot of people who don't go a lot think, okay, the monorail resorts are where I want to be. But I mean, you go to the Magic Kingdom, yes. The Epcot line takes a little bit longer to get there from there, and then after that, like, the Animal Kingdom is a forever bus away from where you are. So I don't think there's a good winning option there, but it just does seem like maybe there should be like a pass holder or a frequent flyer like tunnel that gets you there faster. Like, this is all pretty and everything, and we've seen this great approach before, but can we get the AP just right to the front so it doesn't take so long? And park hopping in Disneyland is running across the Esplanade as fast as you can. And so much so that they limit it, right, Allie? Like the time that you can go?
30 minutes, yeah.
Yeah, so you can't, you leave Disneyland, go into Disney California Adventure, you can't walk right back out and go back into Disneyland for 30 minutes.
You can, you just have to wait for them to like bring the supervisor and override it, but...
Yeah, so I mean, again, I love the closeness at Disneyland, but I also love the grandeur. But I feel like there needs to be something else in between. So, Bianca loves Disney. Pass holder tunnel, yes. Let's make it happen.
Yes.
The pass holder. It sounds so elitist, I know. I need to put Transportation Diva across me. But I do think it's one of those where it just takes so long that you just shouldn't park hop. You should just enjoy your day at the park you're in, if you can. And then, spend your next day at a different one when you're planning it out, because it takes so long to get from place to place. And it's an expensive trip to burn that much day. I think, Allie, are we on your last one?
Yep. Similar to you guys, I did ask Kevin his thoughts, and his number one was actually the Park Pass system. Needs to be overhauled, or better yet, just gone. That topic. My number one was Tomorrowlands. Both of them. They are outdated. Autopia, I know it's a classic, but it's loud, it's smelly. Like, we have the technology. Can we do something a little more modern with that? The Florida Space Mountain is the worst thing ever. I rewrote it again a few days ago. It's still terrible. Tron is a great addition, so like we're going in the right direction. The Buzz Lightyear rides are outdated. The one in Florida is awful. The guns are sticky and they don't work half the time. There's all that dead space. It's just dead space, and the technology is outdated. The Disneyland one is crowded. It's supposed to be tomorrow. Like, we have this technology. Let's make them nice. Let's update it. Let's upgrade it. Let's do the thing.
Let's update it. Let's upgrade it. Let's do the thing. Let's get those stickers. Let's update it. Let's upgrade it. Let's do the thing.
Let's stick it on every single thing in Tomorrowland.
Just walk around. Yeah, you should walk around with stickers in Tomorrowland and just go, this needs to be fixed, this needs to be fixed, but you'd run out of stickers. I think that they talked about Disneyland's Tomorrowland, and there was a rumor that we were going to see a remodel and that they were going to announce it at D23, and they didn't even mention anything about it. But we had the authors of the book Cleaning the Kingdom on a couple weeks ago, and those podcasters are great, and you should check them out. But we were talking to them, and they said, I said, what's your, the attraction you miss? And they said, the People Mover. And I was like, how was the Rocket Rods? They were like, they were amazing when they worked. And, that was a cool thing. But that track is so depressing because it's been there forever and there's been nothing on it. And it's just there. Now, maybe it creates some shade and that's a good thing. But there's a lot that needs to be untangled in that Tomorrowland. And I really think you're going to have to do an Epcot wall around it, make all those things change at once, and then open it up again rather than like, let's board up Space Mountain for a little bit or something like that, because there are a lot of changes that probably need to happen there. I think more so the one in Disneyland than Disney World, because now we have Tron,
which is great, but it makes Space Mountain look horrible.
And there's like a giant hole as you walk into the left, and I love MILF. Who doesn't love a good MILF? But it doesn't
Monsters
belong
Inc.
in Tomorrowland.
Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor is what you're talking about.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, just making sure, because people get. How am I being crude? I'm just.
I don't
what did you
talking
mean?
about.
Okay, cool. All right, just
clarification.
Yeah.
I just want to talk about Alien Swirling Saucer again for a second.
No. That's wrong park. Talk about that, because again, Magic Kingdom people are picking that as number one that needs to be renovated. Tomorrowland's got to be part of that. But you're right. Like you go in and Stitch's Great Escape / Alien Encounters / Mission to Mars is just an empty building. And what are they going to do? We were rumored a Wreck-It Ralph attraction there, which also doesn't necessarily fit, but it would be better than nothing. I feel like. Yeah, so, I mean, they've got a great entranceway now with that round, weird sign that's on the bridge. And then, they've upgraded the audio for the People Mover. I don't know what else you want, people. Oh, wait, you want to update Space Mountain, Carousel of Progress, and open something up where Stitch used to be.
Autopia. Okay. Buzz Needs Love. Buzz needs a lot of love. Why did the guns not come out on the Florida one? Like, what am I supposed to do with this?
Sticky guns. Well, I mean, vice versa. Why did they come out at the, in Disneyland?
You can actually
That's my question.
Aim better?
Yeah.
So you can actually do what you're supposed to do?
It's more of a challenge.
I do like the one at Disneyland better because there's more going on with the different pieces. But anyway, we digress. Okay, so thank you guys in the chat for voting. Clearly, we're going to get this information to Josh tomorrow, who will take care of this for us, I am sure, Patrick. Don't you think?
He I tried to follow him on what's that new one, Threads, and it just said blocked. It was weird.
Yeah,
I didn't even have an account.
So you've been pre-blocked on everything, huh? Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, I'm not allowed to contact Josh tomorrow.
Are you the James Woods of Threads already? Is that what's happening now? That's crazy. All right, congratulations, buddy. All right, so thank you guys for doing the poll. We appreciate you, and thanks for being here for Park Center and panel. Thank you guys for taking some time on your Sunday night. I know we've gone over extra innings tonight, but I think it's a fun conversation to have, and I hope that some of these things do get upgraded and updated. I think it's the things we if we've been talking about it, other people are talking about it, and hopefully Disney is listening, and some of these things get addressed in the future, because there's a lot of stuff we want them to build. All that stuff on the other side of Big Thunder and the changes to Dino Land that they've promised, but also at the same time, we'd like for them to take care of the things that we love. So hopefully that happens. New monorails, please. That would be nice. But thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for being in the chat. We appreciate you. And don't forget, we love our wigs. The WDWNT Interglobe Society. You guys are the best. We are, if you want more information about how to join our WIGS family, you can go to patreon.com /WDWNT, as Patrick mentioned earlier, and learn how to be a WIGS member. And we have a post show for you guys right after this. So hopefully you guys will stick around and we'll see you on the post show. hopefully we'll see you for Deep in the Plus this Wednesday night. Those of you who are not joining Tom on his Zoom will hopefully be able to hang out with us, and if not, you can watch the replay later. And then we'll see you next Sunday night for another episode of Park Center. Thank you guys so much. Have a great week. And Allie, California, please stay safe. Get it. Patrick, where you at? There it is. That's what the people want.